Hey, this is Jordan. I'm doing my NFL spread predictions for the upcoming week. So, first game is Pittsburgh versus Cleveland. Right now, Cleveland is favored by 2.5. I like. It's hard for me to go with Cleveland, but they did just beat the Buffalo Bills, which was a good victory because the Buffalo Bills are a good team. They're a solid team. Um, the Steelers though have been playing really well. They beat they beat the Colts, and then they just won yesterday against I can't remember, but the Rams. That's who it was. The Rams. That was a really impressive victory. I took the Rams to win that one. I thought the Rams were going to beat the Steelers. Really, I think a lot of people did. Though. I mean, they were the favorite, but yeah. So the Steelers won. But they're really good at home, and Cleveland is this is going to be in Cleveland. It's a division rivalry. I think it's going to be a good game. I just think Cleveland. I just like them better as a team. On paper, clearly they're the better team, but they did win. I think they've been getting some of their mojo back. The energy, the positive energy, is in the locker room. So I think Cleveland's going to play pretty well. So I think they'll beat the 2.5 point spread. They were favored by 2.5 against the Bills, and I took them, and they won by 3. So yeah. Uh, Dallas versus Detroit. This opened up at Dallas minus 2.5. Now it's some places it's Dallas minus 3.5. Some places Dallas minus 4.5. I would take Dallas on any of those spreads. But I would wait because a lot of places I don't know what's this is the only game that not a lot of places have spreads for this game, and so I would just wait. I guess right now Dallas is favored by 4.5. I think that's probably a good number. I think it'll stay on that. 2.5 was too small, but 4.5 seems about right. I don't know who's putting money on Detroit. I mean, because they're not starting Matthew Stafford, so I mean, unless they are, they're gonna. But I don't. I don't think they. I don't. I think he's still injured. Anyways, maybe that's why there's no spreads because they don't know if he's gonna play or not. But anyways, take Dallas. I don't know what the spread's gonna be right now. It opened up at 2.5. You get Dallas minus 2.5. That's good, and even Dallas minus 4.5 is good. New Orleans versus Tampa Bay. So, New Orleans is favored by 5.5. I know they just got whooped by the Falcons. That was bizarre. I'm gonna take New Orleans minus the 5.5. Yeah, I think minus 5.5 isn't that big of a spread against Tampa Bay. The thing is, they won, but I took Tampa Bay minus 4.5 against the Cardinals, and they only won by 3, so they didn't beat the spread. That was really upsetting. They're not that good of a team. New Orleans should definitely win this game by at least a touchdown. So I'm taking New Orleans minus 5.5. Carolina versus Atlanta. So this is I think this is an easy. I'm taking Carolina minus the 6. Definitely. Atlanta, that was a fluke. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, I'm taking Carolina minus 6. And the coach is obviously an idiot for what he did with the going for 2 when they were down by 8 or whatever. When you're down by 2 touchdowns, you score a touchdown, and then you go for that was one of the weirdest things ever. So the coach is clearly a moron, so it's hard for me to put faith in him. But I'm still gonna go with Carolina Panthers. Um, so the next game is Jacksonville versus Indianapolis. It's very interesting. So Indianapolis hasn't been playing well. I know it's because Jacoby Brissett's been injured and he's coming back, but I like Jacksonville plus 3. I'm surprised that Indianapolis is such a heavy favorite. Maybe I thought it'd be like maybe 1.5, but they're a 3-point favorite. So I'm taking Jacksonville plus the 3. I think that's a pretty good. Yeah, that's a pretty good. Because I just don't understand why Indianapolis would be a favorite if they. I mean, they haven't been playing well. So I think it's because Jacoby Brissett's coming back, but still, I'm taking Jacksonville plus the 3. Denver versus Minnesota. Um, Minnesota is clearly the better team, and they're at home, and they need to win this game. They're in a division. I mean, they're in a division right now, the AFC or NFC North with the Packers and the Lions and the Bears. And even though the Lions and the Bears haven't been playing that well, it's still tough to get into the playoffs. The NFC is pretty tough right now. There's a lot of good teams in the NFC, and the Vikings, they're right now, if the playoffs started right now, the Vikings would be a wild card. So they really need to win some games. Every game is a must win, especially a team like Denver where they're starting Brandon Allen or whatever. They need to win this game. So I'm taking Minnesota to win, but minus 10.5. We're talking about a spread. I just That's too big to me. I really think that Denver will beat this plus 10.5 spread. So I'm actually gonna go with Denver plus 10.5. Yeah. New York Jets versus Washington. This is weird to me. So Washington is a favorite. They're starting Dwayne Haskins. The Jets just won against the Giants. It's very strange to me that Washington. I know they're at home. I still think it's strange that they're a favorite. Even though I don't like Sam Darnold, I trust him more than Dwayne Haskins. I like Dwayne Haskins. He might have a good future. He just right now is raw. I don't know why people are putting money on him to win. I mean, young quarterbacks are hungry, but I have to take the Jets. Well, so the Jets are plus 1.5. I guess I would take the Jets on the money line, whatever that is. I don't know. I would take the Jets to win straight up on the money line. Yeah, I like the Jets here. I think in time, in a couple days, the Jets will have moved. I think it will move to like a pick 'em. It should move to be a pick 'em. I don't know if people are gonna put money on Washington as a favorite, especially on the money line. I see a lot of money line plays going on the Jets because no one likes to take a +1 or -1 spread. That's stupid. So, I see a lot of bets coming in on the Jets money line, and then that'll probably even out. Then there'll be like a pick 'em, and I would still take the Jets on the pick 'em. I just think, yeah, I think the Jets are going to end up being the favorite by the time this game rolls around. So yeah, I would take right now the Jets on the money line, whatever that is. I'm not sure exactly because I'm only looking at spreads. So Buffalo versus Miami is the next one. Miami's been playing well. Buffalo just lost. I still have to take Buffalo minus 5.5. I don't know. I like this. I like Buffalo. They're in the hunt for the playoffs. They've been losing. They lost to the Eagles. They lost to the Browns. But I still have to take Buffalo minus the 5.5. I just got a feeling about it. I said that the Miami Colts game in my last video would be a really close game, and that actually ended up happening, and the Dolphins ended up winning. I was surprised how right I was. But I got a feeling about this one. Buffalo minus the 5.5. 5.5 is not that big of a number. I think they'll win by a touchdown. So, um, yeah, this spread would be a lot bigger if I remember when I took Miami at plus 17 against the Bills and they lost by 10 and I beat the spread. Um, that was a 17-point spread. Now, because the Miami Dolphins have been winning and the Buffalo Bills have been losing, now it's only a 5.5-point spread. Big difference. These are the same teams though, same teams, but a big difference in spread. I think this game should also be decided by 10 points. I think the Bills will win by 10 points. So at least a touchdown. But the last game was decided by 10 points. I think this game will be another 10-point victory by the Bills, or at least a touchdown. So I'm gonna go with Buffalo minus the 5.5. Houston versus Baltimore. I keep going against Baltimore. I went with the Patriots -3, and I went with the Bengals plus 10.5 or 10 or something like that. It's been biting me in the ass. I am a huge Ravens fan. I watch everything about the Ravens. They're by far my favorite sports team of all time, and I know that they do not have that good of an offensive line. They don't have a very good pass rush. I know these things. And I don't understand how they keep winning games they're destroying teams. Their offense is on fire. Their wide receiver group, they have a good tight end group, but their wide receiver group's average. Very average. So I don't understand why they're so freaking good. I mean, I study this team. I listen to everything about this team, and I don't understand what like they are just. I mean, Lamar Jackson's awesome, but yeah, I have to take Baltimore this time. I'm gonna stop going against Baltimore. They're only favored by 4 points. I think they'll beat Houston by a touchdown. Houston is not as good as they should be. I remember I took Houston. I've taken Houston a few times and they failed me. I'm gonna stop trusting Houston, so I'm gonna take Baltimore minus the 4. Yeah, I think minus 4. 4 is not that big of a number. This next one though is a huge number. Arizona, San Francisco. So Arizona is a 13.5 point underdog. I have to take Arizona at plus 13.5. I like what the San Francisco 49ers have been doing. I just cannot take them at such a large number. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. I remember I took the Cardinals I took the 49ers at -6.5 against the Cardinals, and they didn't beat that spread. So why would I take San Francisco at minus 13.5? I think they'll win by maybe a touchdown or 10 points or something, but 13.5 is too much. So I'm taking Arizona plus the 13.5. That's not that. Yeah, I mean San Francisco they'll win, but I don't think it's going to be utter annihilation. So next game is New England versus Philadelphia. This one I got to think about because New England is they're not playing that well, and Philadelphia's actually been playing better. I think I have to take New England minus the 3.5. I mean I like Philadelphia, but I trust the Patriots more. They screwed me last time against the Ravens, but I don't think the Eagles are as good as the Ravens, definitely. So um, I mean, yeah, I think New England minus 3.5 is actually one of the easier decisions I'd say of this week. I think that's a pretty easy decision for me. New England minus 3.5. I think they really want to bounce back from last week's loss. So yeah, definitely, I'm very confident in New England minus the 3.5. That's one of the easier picks for me. Uh, this next one also is kind of easy. I think Cincinnati plus 10.5 is an easy play. I think Oakland they've been playing well. And Cincinnati hasn't, but Oakland, I mean, they're not that like Ravens were favored by 10.5 last week. On Sunday, which is yesterday actually, um, against the Bengals, and they won by like 40 points. The thing is, the Raiders are not as good as the Ravens. You know what I mean? I mean, the Raiders are good. They've been winning. I like what they're doing. They're gonna win this game, but 10.5 is too big. So definitely gonna take Cincinnati at plus the 10.5. Definitely. I would never take Oakland at minus 10.5 in any against any team, even the Dolphins or any team that yeah. Chicago. Chicago versus the LA Rams. I like. Yeah, I don't like it, but I mean, I just think this is too big of a spread. The Rams are playing so awful lately. I have to take Chicago at plus 6.5. That's too. They opened up at 7.5. That would have been nice. Some places it's still 7, but most places 6.5. So I would take Chicago at plus the 6.5. The Rams, they disappointed the hell out of me. I took the Rams at -4 against the Steelers. I really thought that they were going to win by a touchdown. They lost straight up. I don't know. So I don't trust the Rams right now. It's hard for me to trust Chicago, but to me, honestly, these teams are kind of equal. I think the Rams are only slightly better than the Bears. I mean, they're also at home, but the Rams have been disappointing, and the Chicago Bears have been disappointing. I think the Rams are a slightly better team, but 6.5 is too big of a spread. I'm going to take the Bears at plus 6.5. The last one is Kansas City versus the Chargers. I know that Kansas City they disappointed me so much by losing to the Titans. I couldn't believe it. I like Tannehill, but I still can't believe they lost. Um, their defense is awful. They never replaced Marcus Peters. They never replaced. Well, they lost. They lost Eric Berry, Justin Houston. They lost all these guys. D Ford. They've replaced Eric Berry with Tyrann Mathieu, who's like younger and more athletic. I think that was a great decision by getting Tyrann Mathieu. But all the other players, they never replaced D Ford. They never replaced all these guys. Their defense sucks. Their defense absolutely is atrocious. But the Chargers, I can't trust the Chargers. I mean, I just can't trust them. They're also. I think the Bears and the Chargers might be the most disappointing teams of the year so far. I have to take the Kansas City Chiefs at -3.5. That's nothing to me. I mean, the Chiefs. I know they've been losing, but -3.5. Pat Mahomes had just come back from that injury when they played the Titans, and he still played well. They still scored a lot of points, but I think he's going to be even better this game. Their defense just has to do something. I mean, it's so bad, but I have to take the Chiefs at -3.5. And also any Chiefs game, just take the over. I took the over last game. That was an easy play. Um, yeah, I mean the Chargers. Yeah, I mean I don't know the Chargers' offense. I don't know what's wrong with their offense. I took when they went 0-7 on passing plays for like that last drive against the Raiders. I watched every play. I was like astounded how bad that was. I was like, that's Philip Rivers. That's a Hall of Fame quarterback right now. Like that's he looked so bad. I don't know what's wrong with his head or something. If he's secretly injured, there's something wrong with Philip Rivers. Um, so I don't know, but I don't know. Yeah, the Chargers. Who can put their money on the Chargers? Who can trust them? I trust Pat Mahomes. I know that the Chiefs lost last game, but Pat Mahomes is a consistent quarterback. He played well last game. He's gonna play well again. I can at least trust that he'll be consistently good. I can't trust that Philip Rivers will be consistently good. I drafted him to my fantasy team. I dropped him. I was actually able to get Jimmy Garoppolo, so that's way better. So happy I have him on my team. Right before he started putting up big numbers, like I got him. But anyways, that was the last one of the week. I'm probably gonna do a video on over under predictions. Um, I didn't really look at any of the over unders. There's a few games that I think are gonna be very low scoring. I definitely like the under for Buffalo Miami. That's a pretty good under. 39. I know it's low, but come on, Buffalo Miami. I think we're all thinking the same thing. Uh, so I could do that under. But I'll see. There could be some games that could be very high scoring. Tampa Bay versus New Orleans could be high scoring. Um, Jacksonville, Indianapolis could be very low scoring. Pittsburgh, Cleveland could be very low scoring. Baltimore, Houston could be high scoring. Um, you never know. New England versus Philadelphia. I know New England has a great defense, but Carson Wentz and I don't know, and Tom Brady. I like that quarterback matchup. I think that could be high scoring. Um, the over under. A lot of these over unders are pretty low. Like that one's at 44.5. I could definitely take over 44.5. Patriots versus Eagles. Um, Cincinnati, Oakland. I like the way that Oakland's defense has been playing, and Cincinnati's offense. I think that could be a low scoring game. I think Oakland will win in a low scoring one. Um, Chicago versus LA Rams. Two bad offenses. Both those offenses have been playing awful. That could be an easy underplay. And then, like I said, Kansas City versus the Chargers. Even though Philip Rivers, he's been playing bad, he's still a Hall of Fame quarterback. And Pat Mahomes on the other side, I think that could be a high-scoring one. Even though the over-under is pretty high, it's at 52.5. But that could be a high-scoring one. Um, I don't know. And then some of them are kind of weird. But anyways, and then maybe Jets Washington could be a low-scoring one. But the over-under is really low right now. It's at 37.5. But that definitely is correct because it should be low-scoring. Um, Arizona, San Francisco. I could definitely take over 45.5. That's not that high. I mean, Kyler Murray, Jimmy G. I could see that going over 45.5. That yeah. Some of these over unders are pretty low. Some of them are like Yeah, kind of intriguing. I'll talk about that in my next video tomorrow. So hopefully I get my prediction right tonight. I have I have Seattle at +6. That stayed the same all week. It stayed at the 6 point spread, which is interesting. So I have Seattle at +6, and I took Seattle. I think I took Seattle when they were. It was at like 44.5 or some shit, something like that. I think it was 44.5 was the over under. But I don't. I can refer to my last video, but I have the over in that. I think it's like it's open. I think I had over 44 or over 44.5, and then I have Seattle at +6. So yeah, that should definitely go over. That should definitely go over. Even if I had at like 45 or 45.5, I think that should definitely go over. Now it's at 47. Yeah, even yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know if I take it at 47, but anyways, yeah. Hopefully that should hit the over, and then hopefully Seattle will beat the +6 spread. I think they're a pretty good team, and I hope Josh Gordon plays well. I'm intrigued to see how he plays tonight on his new team. So that'll be the end of the video.